Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another night of action here at the ESL ESEA Pro League for North America. My name is Blue. Joining me this evening is Moses, and our first match, probably one of the most anticipated matches to come up here all of this season. Two of the North American powerhouses, 10 of some of the most recognizable names in North American CS are about to clash. It's going to be Cloud9 versus Team Liquid, and we'll be getting started with it here in just a couple moments. Before we do that, though, Moses, let's take a look at what we're going to be dealing with this evening. Go ahead and take us through the match.
Yeah, no real introduction necessary for these two teams. I mean, these are the two ones right now. Liquid's probably playing the best Counter-Strike in North America at the moment. They've been just dominant recently. Riding high. Cloud9 is that just I mean, you can even see they have their flags up in their Steam profile pictures, which is pretty cool with the Cloud9 logo right over it. But I mean, this is a team that's been like in the standard bearer for North American Counter-Strike for some time now, but Liquid's knocking on that door at the moment. They've been playing so good lately. So these are really the two best teams. I mean, CLG's up there as well, but these two teams, this is such a hyped up match.
Absolutely, and of course we look at Liquid, and to some degree, I mean, they have had quite a bit of steam going for them. But for Cloud9, they've definitely had some good matches, at least in the league. But then we look at their performance at the Crown Invitational last weekend, and things didn't really go so well there.
Yeah, that's an understatement. They went disastrously, actually. I mean, it's tough. They played pretty poor, actually, but you also have to give it to Immunity for playing really, really well that tournament. But yeah, Cloud9 definitely did not meet expectations, which was really interesting to see. I think a lot of that, I normally don't prescribe or give much to this excuse or whatever you want to call it, but I mean, going to Australia, that's long travel time. That's 12-hour time difference. You got to give a little bit to that, because even Virtus.pro, despite winning, they looked a little bit sluggish at times in their matchups against both Immunity and Renegade. So just an interesting tournament. But yeah, Cloud9, they have some massive issues going on in their camp right now that they need to straighten out. They've only got 2 weeks till Cluj, and they're not looking very strong whatsoever.
And we take a look, of course, at how Cloud9 has been performing so far in this season. They've, with the exception of that one little slip up there versus Follow Esports, they've been winning all of their matches at this point. And in terms of the records, at least, both of these teams, both Liquid and Cloud9, sit tied at a 5-1 record. So not only will these two finally be clashing, I believe, for the first out of 2 times that we'll see them do so in this season, but also one of them is going to take the lead here for the first time tonight as well. And it's definitely going to be interesting to see which one does. Team Liquid, I watched a match with them last night. Granted, it was against WinterFox. You always have to look at the fact that WinterFox is in with that ping difference, but even considering that, specifically their CT side just looked completely unstoppable. It was phenomenal. All these great holds, and they were keeping so many players alive, so their economy was also kept so strong, and I think that is going to be a theme that'll get carried into tonight's match as well.
Yeah, but before we get too deep into this matchup, I want you to tell me a story. I want you to give me the best story that you have coming from Serbia, because for those of you who don't know or didn't catch it, Blue is over in Serbia casting the World Championships for EFRAG just last week.
You want a story?
Yeah, like, what is the craziest thing that happened to you in Serbia? The coolest story you can think of.
I'm gonna be honest, it was pretty uneventful. This is kind of catching me off guard a little bit here. I don't know. I would say
you can't go to Serbia and tell me it was uneventful. There had to have been something from the after party.
Well, I don't know. The after party was fun. That was. So for those who don't know, I'm 20. So here in the States, I can't drink legally, but over there in Europe, I can. So I had a lot of fun at that after party. I will say that at the very least. And I won't go into any more details than that for risk of ruining my very unestablished reputation in the CS scene. But I think the funnest story was just trying to cast on the second stage there. And of course, they were only using it for 2 days, so they didn't really spare a lot of expense, but I was expecting to have like a pretty decent setup and like a stage like they had out there on the main stage, and that was actually, I was pretty surprised too at how big the venue was. And also a big shout out to anybody that was at that event from Serbia, because despite, at least for the first couple days, how little people were there, it was actually a really powerful event just in terms of how many people were there. The crowd was fantastic. They were cheering for all the teams. There wasn't any bad mannering going on between teams that weren't the home teams and whatnot, because there was definitely, with it being sort of over towards Eastern Europe, there was some favoring towards both Poland and the Russian teams, but they gave favor, or they clapped, and they did good manners to all of the Western Europe teams that were there too, and representing. Even the Canadian team did pretty well. But anyway, getting back to it, the second stage was funny because we get there and we see this setup. but we ended up having to cast like off a TV, so that was interesting to say the least. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a more interesting story, but we never really got a chance to leave the venue or the hotel because we were there so late. So yeah.
How did you, I remember telling you before you left that you had to, rip on Thorn at least once or twice throughout the event. Did you get that done?
I was never on the desk, man. There was never an opportunity that presented itself. And if I was going to do it, it would have left Thorn without a chance to rip back at me, so it wouldn't have been fair, man. I couldn't go for it.
I'm disappointed in you, Blue. Disappointed, but we'll get back to this matchup, Liquid and Cloud9. Dust2, this is kind of an interesting map right now because I almost feel like this was one of Cloud9's home maps when they were just kind of dominant for that 3-4 week stretch over the summer when they got to those 3 semifinals. It was this map and Cash, very, very strong on. And ever since then, they've kind of they haven't really changed anything, and they've kind of been doing very poorly on this map, at least against Europeans. And I almost feel like this is a map for Cloud9 that is starting to turn into a little bit of like an Inferno for them, where in the past Inferno was a map that they always thought they were good on, but they always struggled and got beat up on it by Europeans. I'm starting to feel that way about Dust2 because while their T side is pretty solid, it's their CT side is just kind of so weak at the moment. So uninspired. Skidoodle's not very mobile. He's always opting over towards the cars, over towards long. Freak's always going to be in CT spawn. It's a map that is starting to turn into very easy for teams to exploit them on, yet they have the confidence to keep going back to it. So I'm almost afraid they're falling into a trap. Now, that might all get thrown out the window against another North American team, but, Liquid is no joke because Cloud9's ridden this kind of wave where they've been the top North American team just based off the fact that they have better players than everyone. And Liquid has so much skill on this squad right now. And Cloud9's going to be, they're going to take some punches tonight, and it's going to be interesting to see how they respond to it.
And looking more specifically over here at just how Liquid and how strong they've been looking, for those who haven't been keeping up with them in the previous weeks, there has been a monster turnaround from all of this roster. Ever since Hiko had been brought on, there was, of course, that little bit of a period where they were still sort of adjusting to the new roster changes, but ever since that happened, of course, they've been absolutely booming. We've been seeing, I think, the biggest turnaround. By the way, we are going into the knife round, so I believe we should be able to jump into the game now to check that one out, but we'll continue talking regardless. I think the biggest change, of course, regardless of Hiko always performing as well as we expect him to, has been Adren. He's had an absolutely miraculous turnaround. He definitely was struggling a little bit on the previous iteration of this roster, but ever since bringing Hiko on and ever since the strats have sort of changed up there a little bit, he's been doing phenomenally with his opping job, specifically on the CT side, and has been so far kind of one of the star players for this team.
Yeah, and this is actually very curious to see what Cloud9 takes here. It wouldn't surprise me to see them stay on the T side because their CT side, like I said, has struggled a little bit recently. So, you always want to start on that side, or you see pro teams pretty frequently start on the side. That's going to give them the biggest advantage going forward. So, yeah, and it does look like Cloud9's going to stay on this terror side. So, this is the one that's been good for them. This is where they've been able to rack up rounds, and they have to have a pretty solid half here if they want to go into the second half onto the weaker defensive side that they have on Dust2 with confidence.
All right, guys, well, we're going into it here. The first round getting started right now here between Team Liquid and Cloud9. Best of one over here on Dust2 with Cloud9 starting off on the T side and Liquid on the CT side. And we've got, interestingly, a dually buyout from Nitro, so we'll take a look at that later. But there's going to be, at the beginning here, a fast movement over towards middle from Elige. Doesn't look like he's going to catch anything as Cloud9 are doing a reverse movement over here. They work their way very quickly over here out and along to try to make a push towards that. And to be honest, there isn't a whole lot of defense. It's all falling into the hands of Adren, and so many nades coming up onto that site. There's nothing he can do to stop it. He plays it safe, though. He hides for the time being and is going to use that to keep himself in there for the time, but he pops out and Sean Garris immediately catches him, so he's going to fall. Elige did manage to sneak through with one kill before falling, but beyond that, Cloud9 have good control, and now they're clearing it out with 2 more kills coming up for them here. We can see that we've also had Adren finally falling out there along with Elige, and now Hiko, he's getting a couple hits here, and again, from Liquid here, just not a lot of access to the site being given. Nitro and Hiko, though, they pick up 2 shots, and they're going to even out the equation, and there's Hiko finding another one. He's going to take down Sean Garris. They move it, but he falls to nothing, and now it's nothing in the clutch. He picks up the headshot of Nitro, and Cloud9 are going to take the pistol round.
Yeah, Hiko almost pulls that one out for him. Nitro actually fumbles with the smoke. He's standing in the fire inside the bomb site trying to smoke off the bomb for a defuse, and he accidentally doesn't throw it. So nothing, he's pretty much fully exposed, and nothing just takes the headshot from him. But very aggressive. All 5 members going towards long A for Cloud9, and well, the damage is dealt. They get into that bomb site basically for free. Adren tries to make that clever play, but he can't get anything done in there. So nice pistol round from Cloud9, but it's going to be a second round by. Alicia and Nitro both picking up the scout. No damage dealt quite yet. Outside of those 2 scouts, it's all 5-7s. Shroud gets that first kill. Once again, aggressively out towards long. Adren playing behind the smoke. He can't find anything either. Freak takes him out. And there goes Elige as well. So this buy is crumbling for Team Liquid.
Fugly's going to be able to pick up one over here by the tunnels, but overall, as you said, not a whole lot left for them to gain. Nitro looking to maybe find a pot shot or two. There's that little bit of a hole through the smoke back over there by the cross coming out from CT spawn, but beyond that, unless he gets lucky here, and it gets smoked off anyway, so Nitro not going to be able to find anything. That plant comes off, and this 2-on-4, obviously, with the bot-up guns, not really going to be too big of a point in them pushing as Fugly's going to find some combat here in a second as he pushes forward. We almost are going to see Nitro going down, but thankfully Fugly gets the flanked angle and is able to take down Sean Garris, so they'll lose one. But beyond this, Liquid, of course, won't really be attempting to do too much else, and we'll probably see Cloud9 take the second round without too much trouble.
Yeah, Shroud's going to take a little bit of a battle here, though, and he gets dropped. Fugly with a nice headshot, so they do come out of this still with 2 weapons. Nitro, no armor, but Fugly picks up a glow. He's got 3 kills, so they've done some really, really good economic damage in this round, which is going to be solid going forward. But either way, this is going to be Cloud9 taking a 2-0 lead. And Liquid, Nitro's got a chance with this scout to do some damage in the future.
Indeed, and we'll see how that evolves going into some of these next rounds, and again, from Liquid here, of course, not really going to be able to buy up too much else. Thankfully, they do save these 2 guns, so they're still going to have a little bit of firepower here, but for buy-ups, it's just going to be maybe a couple upgraded pistols here or there. We can see that on a Liege as he goes for the 5.7, but really not a whole much else, and Cloud9 realized this, so they do bring 1 AK into play over here onto Freakazoid, as he is still able to go for that pretty confidently, but for the rest of the team, they're just going to sit back. 2 MAC-10s in play from Shroud and Sean Garris, and this one's probably going to be a very, very quick play onto that B site. Overall, the positions here from Liquid, not too good, but Fugly is going to be able to grab one despite him being flashed. Liege finds a second one after Fugly takes him down pretty low, and now nothing along with himself. They're picking up, I believe, 3 kills elsewhere on the map to take out Hiko, Liege, and a Dren before finally falling to Nitro. And of course, Skadoodle with a nice shot finishes things off there to give Cloud9 the 3rd point.
Yeah, the trades initially go in the favor of Liquid, and they stall that rush out for just a couple seconds. That allows time for some rotations to come in, and from there, Cloud9 just overwhelms them into the bomb site. But either way, both of those rounds, both of these eco rounds, they've gotten significant damage dealt. 3 members lost in the first one, and 4 in the second one. So this is really, really good economically. You can see Cloud9, this buy is maybe their last one if they can't win this round. They have 3 members down at $0 or $50, so that's a very scary situation to be in.
And they're going to wait back here again. You can see that position from Nitro. Just trying to watch out for mid and also being careful in case there's a quick play to try to make their way into that B site. Won't be happening, though, as now that Cloud9 know the guns are in play, they go back to that very, very default area here of checking through middle. This could lead its way into a cat take here if they don't find too much else arching out from this angle, but they move in, they catch it pretty clear. Freakazoid might end up meeting a Dren in a second, but that could get a bit hairy, of course. Thankfully, he's not armed up with his op just as of yet, so he's not going to be able to find anything. Connects a little bit of damage over there into nothing, but beyond that, nothing else being gained. However, Freakazoid's going to fall first on the way in, but now nothing and Sean Garris. They'll trade a couple kills, comboing their way in through both main as well as the window there, and they're going to get easy site control here. Liquid smoked up, not even being able to approach the site here because of the smoke in CT at this point, and I don't even believe they're going to make an attempt for it. They're just going to sit back, and that's going to hand over the gun round here as well to Cloud9.
Yeah, only 1 flashbang, no kits, so yeah, all they can really do is save, and that's just kind of Cloud9, very aggressive mid-B split. It's almost like they decided to do what's worked against them for so long, because there was no mid-presence from Liquid whatsoever. They didn't have an op-out, they didn't have a lot of utility to use on those mid-double doors, and Nitro just spent that entire round completely blind inside the B-bomb site, so Cloud9 storms in. Couple kills for free, and they only lose 1 this time, so that's great, because they stabilized the economy off the back of this win. And moving forward, they're already up 4-0. Team Liquid, they do have 3 M4s to work with, but behind that, they're going to have to drop 2 Famuses over to Fugly and Nitro for the next round.
And going into that Cloud9, oh, excuse me, with a pretty hefty lead at this point here. Liquid, though, still managing to keep those 3 rifles into play, and as you said, we'll see a couple probably dropped over, or we'll just see Fugly maybe work with the Deagle at this point if he can get that armor for himself, but there will be a rifle going over to his way, and as you had mentioned before, this should still keep pretty much everybody in play at this point in time, and that will indeed be the case. Utility, actually pretty good as we take a look at that one, and then for Cloud9, of course, still doing very well, but they're going to split themselves up. Shroud goes for a quick peek over here to the long doors, but there's no aggression from Team Liquid on that, so we won't see a response. The main bulk of the players are lined up just outside of the tunnel entry onto the B site here, and Fugly's going to take a very close tight angle here to try to catch some of these players. That smoke comes in, but they go out for it anyway. Fugly finds one, but immediately 2 more kills traded out from Cloud9 as Freakazoid and Skadoodle pick up 2. That rotation coming over much, much more quickly this time here from Team Liquid, but still not going to be quick enough as they've got Shroud on the flanking angle, but at the same time, he only ends up trading out 1. Nonetheless, however, this leaves it into a 2-on-3, but I think they might decide to go for it. Elise here, still not a whole lot of utility. They're trying to find these shots. That flash comes out, but I believe it connects back over there onto Freakazoid as well, so he can't very well confidently push through that. And again, the odds are for Liquid here just not looking so good, so they're going to pull back and try to save those rifles once more, and that's a good decision too. As you look at the health pools, it wasn't really favoring them with 28 and 18 HP left on Elise and Hiko respectively.
Yeah, that's a really nice call from Cloud9 because they know going back towards the B bomb site, those are the only two players who died in the previous round for Liquid, so they know that they're going to be the ones to drop the weapons. They're the one who have the lighter arsenal in terms of firepower, so they bring these AKs right back up against the FAMASes that they've been dropped, and they just overwhelm them completely. So Cloud9, an easy take onto that B bomb site. Once again, Liquid not even able to contest for the retake whatsoever, so Cloud9 putting together a pretty strong match early on so far, up 5-0.
And we see here, too, that Liquid trying to use so much, and again, they had slightly limited utility that time, but for the most part, they had the good buys, but a lot of it going out so early. I mean, we even seeing here, too, that there was one time where they actually used a frag grenade over there through middle just to get that little bit of a smoke plume up into the air, even using that sort of utility just to try and get themselves out. But unfortunately, the money's going to get very, very limited on 3 of these players now, with them unfortunately losing these 2 rounds in a row. The saves are going to help, of course, with keeping a little bit still in play, but this even worsens it this time, so I don't imagine them going so well if Cloud9 keep up these slightly delayed, but still very, very quick takes onto the sites.
Yeah, Leash completely blinded. He sprays the first one down, but Freakazoid responds, and there's no defense in this A bomb site. The other M4 is Hiko over towards B, and they're taking over these upper B tunnels. So Cloud9, they switch things up completely. They go towards the A site. This time, Team Liquid tries to stop them from putting any presence over at B, but it doesn't even matter. Adren with just the pistol is so low down in the CT spawn, and there's really not much Liquid can do here, so they're just going to go for some exit frags. But either way, Cloud9 completely has them on the ropes at the moment.
And this position from Skadoodle is so in their face at this point, too. Just sits back. Good trigger hold, but unfortunately a little bit early there. And he's going to catch some shots to the face that comes out there from Fugly. Nitro also managed to sneak through with a kill, and that's going to even trade it out for a 2-on-2. But now Liquid has to make that decision. Will they continue to go for this push, or did they sit back? And again, the economical choice is being made here. So now they're going to give us 6 points so far, uncontested by Team Liquid at this point, with Cloud9 leading in a very, very big way. And unfortunately, Liquid just not wanting to take the risk on that retake. Very, very smart decision when you look at the positions from Cloud9, but still, you're definitely not going to help out in the round score as we head deeper and deeper into the half.
No, and this is actually a good test for Liquid to see exactly where they're at, because they've been playing so well recently. People are ready to already crown them the best team in North America with Cloud9's recent slump in international results. So this is a good barometer of where they're at. And actually, I mean, 6 rounds in, this is really the best buy that Liquid's had. You can see double op setup now comes out. Nitro has one. Adren has one as well. Finally, they have 4 kits to work with. They have some Molotovs as well. So this is the round that Liquid needs to win and get back on track.
And we are going to see now a double op setup being obtained by these guys. But again, it's a quick take. Shroud jumps out, takes some shots, but takes down Fugly anyway over by the car. Moving in, such quick control. It's another time that this will happen. Nitro has that op over by window, but Freakazoid is pushing him, connects the shot. Freakazoid a little too slow on the trigger, and Nitro is going to be able to survive that with just 4 HP, but now he can't stick around. He's going to fall back. He's going to try to support a Legion push through the mid doors, but he gets taken down by Sean Garris. And again now, there's just no attempt at a retake that can be made. They're all stuck over here outside the mid doors. That utility is going away in a very big way. They still got 2 smokes, but now they've been smoked out themselves over here by Cloud9. No site access at all, and Cloud9 just have things locked down over here on the T side.
Yeah, and this is just Cloud9, just no respect. Skadoodle gets one more through the smoke. That's an op. Pico's got to try and pick that one up to maintain that double op setup moving forward, but not even going to worry about it at the moment. Just wants to keep the AK. But Cloud9 is being so aggressive in their strategies. They're getting into this B bomb site so extremely fast that, I mean, there's no chance for a retake because smokes are already down to these choke points, 15, 20 seconds into the round. So Cloud9 just exploiting Team Liquid over at the B bomb site, and this might be a situation where Liquid wants to switch up the defense, start playing a 2-1-2, have 3 members leading over towards that B bomb site. Gives you a little bit more mid presence as well, a little bit more options if you need to rotate. But Cloud9 is just beating them up and down Dust2 right now, 7-0 already.
And the money has gotten to a point here, at least for Liquid, where they can actually afford to do 2 of these op buy-ups in a row. So we're going to see that coming into play once again here. And I don't believe they were able to save the second one, so at least one of these had to have been rebought. That's going to get put into the hands of both Adren and Nitro as they try to work for that. And they'll split it up, of course, putting Adren, I believe, somewhere over here around the A site. Could relocate the mid very quickly as well. And then Nitro, of course, watching out for the tunnel push. But finally, Cloud9 actually going for something a little bit more traditional here now as they work their way up on a cat. Very, very quick take, but again, Liquid sort of expecting something faster to come from a more default angle here. They're going to be sort of out of position for this one. It's going to mainly fall into the hands of Adren to hold that off. We do see these 3 players from Cloud9 still moving in.
Yeah, and this is the slowest round we've seen out of Cloud9 so far, so double op setup for them as well on the T side. Nothing, interestingly enough, picking up an AWP, but Adren at the car, at Game Helper, he's going to be the one that's tested. He's on top of the cars, just trying to look over the smoke, but he's going to give it up completely. Come over towards Long to help his teammate. There's 3 players here. Sean gets 1. But he gets traded off immediately by Adren. He goes along as well. So this is going to be a retake onto that A bomb site. And they can no longer afford to stay out of these bomb sites. They have to attempt these retakes.
Yeah, but unfortunate that Adren gives it away, but makes up for it now with a nice headshot there over on a Freakazoid, but still, you could just see how scared they are of players that could be coming through the long doors there, so they haven't moved in for long to try to go for that retake. Still waiting for some to get in a position here coming out from CT2, so this is going to get a little bit rough, especially with nothing still up there with that up. We'll see Hiko get a kill, but now SCII takes his place, and he's going to get the trade back over onto Hiko, leaves things into a 2-on-2, but again, finally they've got a facility to push back in, but Adren misses the shot, still moving a little bit too quickly, and SCII and Shroud are going to clean things up. Cloud9 still remain unscathed here. It's at 8-0 with Liquid yet to find a place on the board.
Yeah, Adren can't do that. With the AWP at Game Helper, you can't leave that A bomb site. When you already have two players over at the pit, two players playing long, you have to trust them to be able to hold long completely against any hit. Or at least get, 2 to 3 kills if it's going to be a massive execute by the terrorists. But Adren just gives up that A bomb site completely. Cloud9 has all the freedom in the world to get the bomb planted and 20 to 30 seconds to find good positioning afterwards, and it's just too punishing. Now you can see Liquid pushing up towards Catwalk. They're going to give up long completely, and two players pushing into the upper B tunnel, so they're going to start to pitch in towards this mid control. Hiko grabs Shroud over at Xbox, and now they fall back off of Catwalk.
And again, they're going to be a little bit cautious because of what happened in that previous round there where they watched out for Catwalk. They had a little bit of pressure there, but then ended up coming out from long. They'll be right in doing that, but again, so far it's going to be mainly on Hiko here, and thankfully he's got a little bit of a smoke angle to work towards. But also Cloud9, if you're getting themselves into that position, playing it very, very slowly. And also keep in mind Sean Garris, too, at this flanked angle back over here in top middle. Going to try to catch some players that may be rotating. Would probably end up being Nitro, but I think they're ready for this one, too, especially as he opens up some shots. And Hiko at a leash. They're going to find the first two. Hiko also moving forward here, too, to try to take a position. And Freakazoids get killed mid-air. So finally, this hold pulls out here now from Liquid. And it looks like they may finally take around SCII, trying to figure out what he wants to do with this one. He's going to get rid of the op. He knows that his chances are so futile. So he tosses that back into Big Blue and is basically just going to make a run for it at this point.
Yeah, pretty smart to just throw that op away. So right now, I mean, he's only got a pistol, and he's going to go all the way, try and wrap around, maybe try and find and pick up an AK-47 from his teammate. But either way, they've got decent amount of money. Actually, surprisingly, they're for winning the first 8 rounds of this match. He does find an AK-47, by the way. They're pretty weak on economy. They're going to be able to buy next round, but if Liquid's able to string a couple together with the drops in the next round for Cloud9, they're going to break the economy, and that could be their avenue back into this match. Break the economy, get a couple easy rounds, and see what you can pull off from there, because if Liquid can get 5 or 6 rounds, they're going to give themselves more of a window of opportunity moving forward. That's exactly what they need. And SCII, he's not even going to go for anything. He's just going to save this AK-47. Because he knows, I mean, that's pretty smart, because he knows his team's going to have to drop one.
And this is actually going to be, that last round, too, is a pretty big change-up in the strategy from Liquid, too. And you look at the fact that they've been holding pretty preservatively, mainly because of the fact that Cloud9 was hit so quickly. But now, this time, Team Liquid just kicking into over here. They go right for the push. It ends up working out here for them as they take those very forward positions, and it catches Cloud9 off guard a little bit there. So they're going to be able to pick up some of those early frags, and just no returns come out there from Cloud9 that time. So they get that 4-1 advantage basically right from the start of the round. And that leaves them with very little choice to do at the end of it. So we'll see again here now, Cloud9 going back to the quick play, though, as they make their way here through the mid doors. No coverage on that, so they let them get it for free, but they do have a pinch if they want to try to get aggressive on it. However, haven't been able to catch on to this. And now SCII is going to pick up the opening frag over onto Elise. Fugly still holds strong, and now Nitro comes in for the assist over here by the box. Adren as well, that pinch comes in a big way, and now that's going to close them out back over towards middle. They still have 2 players alive here from Cloud9, but they're very, very separate at this point. It's SCII and nothing already having taken a lot of damage, and now SCII on his attempt to creep into that A site and get himself a flank. He's also going to get shut down there by Adren. So with nothing, having no flashes, nothing really left to work with, he's going to try to push himself in here, almost catching one, but it won't happen. And Liquid will win yet another round very, very cleanly with 4 players still left alive at the end of it.
Yeah, Adren and Nitro had some big rounds. Nitro locking down B to recover. It's actually kind of funny to me watching Cloud9 do these basically mid-rushes into a mid-B split, because these are exactly the kind of things that beat up their defense. What they're exploiting on the Liquid defense right now is the exact same things that Cloud9 is weak at on their defense. So they obviously know how to exploit it. It's just interesting that over the past few months, Cloud9 hasn't been able to adjust to this kind of style of play. Now we're going to see just P250s, a bunch of flashbangs. They're going to rush B, but they're running through the fire, and it's going to be a spray down. Nitro grabs the first 2. One sweet spy, but Fugly grabs him. He gets traded off, but Nitro's still wreaking havoc in the back of the bomb site. He's going to clean things up. All said and done, Nitro's got 4 kills. Fugly has the 5th. And it's going to be 3-8 now. Team Liquid, 3 straight.
And unfortunately, there nothing really working out for Cloud9 that time, as Nitro pretty much just had a DM map there that round for free. They all rolled through, the molly was perfectly placed, nothing really Cloud9 could do with the broken economy that time, so that round was pretty much expected for Liquid to take from the start. Just unfortunate they roll right into the Hornet's Nest as far as their choice of a strat was concerned. But now they've got the guns back in their hands. We do see Sean Garris, of course, having to drop down to a galley, but the rest of the team is pretty much armed with the T, so that's not going to be too much missing. Skidoo also armed with the Ops. We'll see that being used. He's hiding out just outside, just within side, actually, Suicide Alley at this point, waiting to see if there's going to be a fast kite coming out from Liquid. Elige is in the area, but I don't think he's going to want to push that far out, especially because of the smoke that he just put on the ground, and also nothing back over there in lower tunnels might not be worth it. But you look at Fugly, he's actually thinking about potentially moving in there as well, as they've also taken up that very, very forward position once again. But for the time being, everybody's sitting nice and stable. Same story for Cloud9 here, but they don't want to lose anybody very early on in the round, especially with Freakazoid already having taken a little bit of action back over here through the A-long doors.
Yeah, this looks like it was going to be set up to be a delayed long take. Sean had a smoke lined up for the corner, but they're going to call that one off and let Freakazoid. He's taken double nade damage, down to 26 HP early on. And they're just going to walk out mid. Team Liquid hasn't had presence here this entire time. They haven't really had an AWP to contest it whatsoever, but even so, they're not even rotating a player over towards CT spawn to deal with it, so these two B players are going to be left hanging a little bit. Fugly and Nitro, they've got a lot of work to do. This late in the round, they have no smokes for the double doors. Nitro gets half blind, and he's ready for him to come through. He grabs one, Fugly as well. Nitro cannot get the second, but he's gotten Sean so low, 2 HP. Doesn't matter, Skadoodle is going to give Cloud9 the advantage. It's going to be a 2-on-3 retake for Liquid right now.
And Adren looking to hopefully get lucky on Sean there, as he's sitting very, very low, as you already mentioned before. Here, they're going to chill back for now, and Adren just trying to reposition there. Almost is going to catch Skadoodle, but thankfully he gets behind cover before that can happen. And now they're just going to go right for it, and Adren messing up that flash. That's actually going to strip their plan in a big way, because that's the only flash they had left. Adren also gets hit by Skadoodle, so he's going to get dropped down to just 8 HP. And again, this retake has absolutely been murdered, unfortunately, due to Adren missing that flash, but even so, the odds were very low to begin with, so that's not too big of a deal. But now this just puts the odds right back into Cloud9's favor, and they even know they're running away with this. They're trying to chase them out and see if they can drop some guns here too, but they're in stable positions. Adren with just 8 HP actually ends up dropping nothing down there, so they're going to pick up another kill, and that's another gun going onto the ground that won't be picked back up, but for the rest of them, I believe they'll make it through.
That's actually a bigger kill than it might seem. I mean, Cloud9's already got 9-3, so... But either way, nothing. There's not a lot of money. He only had 3,800 going into this round, so he's going to need to drop or be light on utility. And that was a pretty smart round for Cloud9 to slow things down, because when they actually eventually initiated that mid to B split, the defenders in the B bomb site didn't have the utility to slow it down. They didn't have any more smokes or Molotovs for the double doors or for the B tunnels, so Cloud9's able to get into that site with good trades, and then Skadoodle with that op really puts the icing on the cake by getting that pick through the double doors.
And Hiko again getting that smoke out onto there, as we mentioned before here now. They're going to try to stop them from moving in, but Shroud along with Sean Garrison and Skadoodle here, all grouped up in a big 4-man. And we can also Freakazoid there tries to do, or apologies, not Freakazoid, Nothing trying to do a little bit of work, but Nitro with that aggressive push picks up a very nice shot over on the Nothing in order to lane. And now the take is going to start. Molly in a great spot. They can't move past that. Hiko just on the other side of Big Blue, so he's got a big kill lined up. Finds 2 in a row. Going to be able to take that down and finds the third with the assistance of Elige coming in there. That's going to take down Shroud. And again, it just all gets shut down so quickly. Skadoodle's going to miss his shot. Starts to fall back. He picks up that op as he tries to drop it again. Just wants to get rid of the damn thing. Did he do it, though, is the question. It looks like he was just able to get rid of that before the round ends. So, actually not sure. I think Adren might have picked it up. No, Hiko grabbed it, so they do manage to find his op.
That was the call. That was the play that Cloud9 was going to run the previous round when Sean had that corner smoke lined up, and they run it this time. Last round, they must have sensed something or got some kind of intel that scared them away from it. This time, on the other hand, that stack from Team Liquid, Hiko and Elige and Pit and over by the blue box, they just murder everyone. So it's going to be a save for this last, saving for the last round is Cloud9. They've got a Deagle, they've got some P250s, only a couple of flashbangs on Freakazoid. So this should be an easy round for Team Liquid to get up towards 5, and they've really, I mean, after a disastrous start, they've kind of stabilized. So if they can get towards 6, that would be a fantastic half, considering at one point they were down 8-0.
And now Cloud9 again line themselves up, move in. Not a whole lot of early anything to work with here as we take a look. Shot, of course, with the Deagles, so he may be able to get lucky with a couple pop shots, but as they move themselves out here, first shot's going to connect on to Sean Garris, but it won't be enough in order to take him down, but a nade comes in along with Elige's shots. That's going to finish them off. Nothing finds one return kill going over to Elige, but beyond that, it seems it's a cleanup from Liquid as they pick up one more, and now Shroud also taken down there by Adren as he gets a big round. 3 kills for him. The Liquid do pick up a 5th.
Yeah, this double op setup now, and this is the first time that Liquid's actually been able to outgun Cloud9 throughout this entire half. It's just going to be AK-47s on the side of Cloud9. Yeah, I mean, even Sean is relegated to a Tech 9 just so he can get enough utility. He's got nade, smoke, flash, and Molotov. And Skidoodle, you can see, is forced onto the scout. So this is a solid round for Team Liquid. But once again, it's 3 members over towards A. They have no mid presence. They have no support outside of these 2 players in the B bomb site, and it's Nitro with the AWP. So Cloud9 showed a real, they've wanted to hit this B bomb site throughout this whole half. They've had a lot of success with it. It's finally started to stabilize, and with this utility, I mean, Cloud9 may not have a chance at getting this bomb site.
And we can see here now that both Fugly and Nitro lined up hold it here. And Cloud9, even you can see here too, Fugly actually going for the big movement as he starts to push himself in a little bit here. We'll see if he's able to work for anything. Nothing, as we already mentioned before, too, has been injured in a pretty big way, sitting down at just 19 HP. But Nitro pushes through, gets the outshot. Freakazoid moves in, gets the response, almost finds a second. But Fugly's going to survive the encounter. That flash, too. But Fugly picks up the kill. Shroud moves in for the trade, and now Elige picks one up as well. They're back over towards middle. He's going to be able to find Sean Garris. And Skidoodle's just going to go right through the doors. He's going to try to make this push. Doesn't actually catch there. There's a player over by the door. It's Elige sitting right on the edge of that smoke, but he's patient. Doesn't make any noise just as of yet. And Shroud as well picks up the kill by window. So now with the Dread and Hiko working this 1-on-2. Shroud very, very low at 28 HP as well, but they still have no clue. It's Skidoodle sitting here behind the boxes, but he pops out, can't find Hiko, finds the first kill and the second over onto a Dren. So Cloud9 steal it away and end the half at 10-5 in their favor.
What a big play from Skidoodle to push out through the smoke at those boxes like that. And what really sold it is his teammate just being so aggressive towards window. And Skidoodle, I mean, he didn't even notice Skidoodle there. So once he falls, everyone just assumes that that box is clear. But Skidoodle just buys his time and pounces right at the end. So nicely done from him. That's a big half from Cloud9, 10-5. But obviously, if it's off the back of those first 8 rounds, Team Liquid did kind of manage to adjust and close the gap just a little bit. They have enough to, give themselves a window of opportunity into this second half. That'll be interesting to see, but I mean, so many saves for Team Liquid. There were rounds in that 8-round losing stretch that they had. They couldn't even go for the retake. They just got completely shut out of those bomb sites. So Cloud9 looked dominant there early on.
Yep, so it's definitely gonna hurt them a lot coming into the second one, and a lot of what we could see coming out in the second half will be dependent upon what we see coming from this pistol round. And for Liquid, of course, actually not a very big investment when you take a look at it here. 3 players buying up armor, and we got 2 players going for nades, so actually take a look, it's pretty typical as far as I'm concerned. But Cloud9 actually, again, going back to pretty much the same thing they did on their T side of pistol, where they just buy up a whole load of utility, and we'll see how that works out for them now too. So far, the rotation, we can see Freakazoid has been fast-catted. He's sitting back over there. Hasn't moved his way out towards middle just as of yet, but nothing also watched the mid door is probably going to act as an early warning, and Freakazoid regardless is going to have to fall back. So it's going to be a default A take, but Freakazoid holds, only gets 1, so that'll get traded back out, but that nade's going to bounce in as a nice amount of damage to Fugly and Elige, bringing them pretty low, and Skidoodle also picking up 2 kills back over there by Long, completely eliminates that push through, and now Shroud holds it back over here on Cat. He's going to be able to drop Elige, and Sean Garris on the flank should finish it off. If he can pick up that kill, which he is, he's going to take down Fugly, and now Cloud9 will pick up the second pistol here as well. And that's going to be a huge bonus for them now. They're going to have such a big lead, assuming they don't have any problems with these anti-ecos.
Yeah, Skidoodle has a huge round there with the double kill. Playing at that game helper and just pouncing out when it's the right opportunity to do it. And he crushes that attack from Liquid. And that was kind of the difference. Cloud9's strategy was all 5 over towards Long. Liquid, they spread out just a little bit, trying to execute an A-split, and they just get picked apart from long range by these USPs and P2000. So nice pistol round from Cloud9. That's going to be both going in their favor.
A little bit of a nade gets tossed out there too by Freakazoid in an attempt to catch the Team Liquid players. They were almost in there, but they end up falling back out just in the nick of time, so none of them are going to take any heat from this one. And again, this is actually a pretty preservative round coming out from Team Liquid on the second buy too. When you take a look at it, the only big buy that we could really consider would be Fugly going for a Deagle, and there's no armor behind that on really any of these other players, so nothing really too big is going to be invested here in this round, as they might look to maybe score a plant here in round number 2, and that would enable the potential for a third round buy-up, especially if you get a nice amount of damage here on a Cloud9 in the second round to kill like 3 to 4 players. But already, Nitro taking a bit of heat here. He's going to get dropped down, and Sean Garris sees this as an opportunity. Almost finishes him off, but now he's going to get the shooting gallery. Him and Freakazoid pick up a collective amount of 3 kills, and nothing coming in for the 4th. Hiko will move in, but nothing finishes them both off there in a line. Sprays him down, and Cloud9 pick up their 12th point.
Yeah, they didn't invest, no investment into armor whatsoever, nades for Team Liquid, so it's no big deal if they only kill 1 person. Obviously, you want to deal more damage than that, but the fact is that they don't get that plant, so there's not going to be any kind of third round buy, so that's just going to let Cloud9, great opportunity for them to get up to 13 rounds. And Liquid, I mean, this is starting to look like they've got to go on a significant streak here after this round. Once they get AKs in their hands, they've got to win 4 or 5 rounds in a row if they want a shot at making this comeback.
And Shroud, of course, takes up the... Shroud, of course, taking up the close angle here. As Team Liquid trying again to push themselves over here out towards long. All 5 of them will work towards it, but this flash shouldn't really connect anything over on him, so he holds strong. A little bit overexposed. He's going to find 1, 2, finally gets traded out by Adren, but now they know where that push is coming from. If they wanted to get aggressive to counter, they could, but I actually think Shroud might have undercalled the numbers a little bit there. They're just watching out for a quick rotate, because for now, of course, the rest of Team Liquid haven't really revealed themselves over towards long, and Freakazoid with long-range touchdown takes down Elige, and just like that, the entire offensive is pretty much gone by the wayside at this point.
Yeah, this attack has been annihilated. So Nico just trying to take some pop shots with his Tech 9 in the pit. Freakazoid's going to clean him out. Doesn't even matter. Both kills go towards him. They've only lost 2 players in the past 2 rounds on their anti-eco, so very nicely done by Cloud9, not taking too much damage, and they're just going to save these guns into the next round. Why not? They have so many rounds to play with. They're going to play the economy game. They're going to play it long term. And they have such a massive advantage. It's only Skadoodle upgrading his Scout to an AWP, which is, I mean, just the scariest upgrade you can imagine. And while he's known for playing over towards the A bomb site, he's going to take this AWP over towards B. And this is something we haven't really seen out of Cloud9 on Dust2 over the past couple months. This is a good switch-up that could catch Team Liquid off guard.
Hiko's going to push forward here again, looking to find his way out over towards long and catch some of these guys off guard, but that push comes in so quickly there through mid, and however, Sean Garris is going to be able to hold himself. He takes down Elige, is able to pick up 1 kill there. Nitro and Adren also trying to find a way back in there because they need to re-pick up that bomb, but there's going to be a trade. Hiko, though, finds that headshot over on the Freakazoid through the smoke. He's going to be able to take that down, and now it's a 3-on-3, but still no bomb control for Liquid, and a Molly comes in from the CTs. Adren tries to hold his own. For some reason, Shroud can't pick up that kill over onto Adren, so he's going to survive that encounter, and our Cloud9, they're going to be a man down here, and this is still going to be a very, very tough situation. Nothing here trying to hold off this angle at this point as Liquid tries to push through to get back bomb control, but they can't, as these players from Cloud9 are just sticking there, and Liquid not being given any room to move back in, and even when they do, Skadoodle's there with the headshot, finishes off 1, and now we're right back into an even 2-on-2.
Yeah, this is very good stuff. They have the bomb down. Skadoodle with the AWP just holding the crack of the double doors. Both Liquid members, they don't have a lot of utility. They're both low, so nothing is going to have an easy spray down if they come out. If you can just find the timing, Skadoodle's blind. He takes a free shot, but nothing's there to just kind of back him up. There's Skadoodle right through the door, shuts down Adren, closes the door, another opportunity in that round. So 14-5 now for Cloud9.
And remember, of course, as we just discussed before, the very minimal investment of Cloud9 coming into that previous round, saving pretty much all the guns that they had still from the anti-eco, so plenty of money left for those that did go down, and even getting a little bit greedy here as we take a look at Sean Garris. He's going to go for the auto buy up here to try to get a little bit of damage done with that, and as for Team Liquid, they're going to have to force this one up, obviously, if they want to try to win the game out here, prevent that 15 point from being scored, otherwise they'll have to play for overtime.
Very, very spread out defense. Just kind of a typical default. 2 players in B, and then you can see Shroud over at the A bomb site. Skadoodle's in the A site with that AWP, but it's Freakazoid close up. This is going to have to be a crossfire setup. These pistols are going to come out, but Shroud gets that first kill. They don't even know Freakazoid's here, and finally he pounces, gets the first one, can't get the second, so even trades, but Liquid so heavily damaged, so light on Arsenal. Dren's got the scout, but he's only got 6 HP. He's got basically a headshot, and he does it right on a Skadoodle. That shuts him down. Nothing's going to drop a smoke over towards long. Try and work with this a little bit. He's going to swing out and look for a fight. Sees the scout. He's just going to fall away. But he gets dropped by Hiko right through the smoke. So Liquid finding some miracle kills. And there's finally Fugly on the flank. Going to clean out Sean to keep them alive just a little bit longer.
And what a miracle round for Liquid to pull off there. The big shots coming out in the scout, and even they're actually going to scavenge through here with this auto as well. So they're going to take it and throw it back at them. Now Fugly will pick that up. Their money's going to be good to go. But as for Cloud9, not going to be looking so confident in their buy-ups here. They actually are going to call the save because they've got a pretty big round equation to work with here. And with that said here, this could be potentially a 7th point being picked up by Liquid. There's that auto as well, doing a little bit of work for Fugly. And that ends up getting tossed back through. But as far as this push is concerned, Shroud actually moves in. He picks up 1 kill over onto Adren. Nitro looking for the response, but a little bit trouble finding those heads there on the galley. And now they're actually going to be given an avenue to work through here. Skadoodle and Freakazoid, they move in. Skadoodle picks up the shot over onto Nitro. Now they've got access, and they're actually cutting them off, so there's going to be a quick rotate from Liquid. They move the bomb into the tunnels. They're going to try to get that onto the B site, but nothing could potentially cut this off. Thankfully, he's a little bit slow, just playing it safe again, because it doesn't have a whole lot to work with. But the big story, of course, is now these guns have been picked back up here by the Cloud9 members. Freakazoid and Skadoodle, they've got a little bit of rifles to work with here, and this could potentially enable their avenue back over here into the B site. However, Elige is still waiting for some of them. He's going to pick up a response kill over on Skadoodle, and as they move back in, it looks like Liquid is sort of getting back control of this situation.
Yeah, good stuff for Cloud9, but the lack of armor, the lack of utility and nades and weaponry that Cloud9 had is just going to bite him right here at the end. But either way, good Ikaron, get those first 2 kills. They gave himself a shot in the round, but eventually Team Liquid able to stabilize still. 14-6, all this economic damage is just going to allow Cloud9 to grind this half out eventually towards this win. Fugly with this auto sniper. He's gonna have to do some work. I mean, that's a powerful gun, and especially at those mid double doors, that's a gun that can give you just a massive advantage. If you get a lucky headshot, it's gonna be game over for one of the Cloud9 members. But Liquid's got a long way to go here into this round. They've got to start building up some banks so they can survive economically with some of these deaths they take.
And Cloud9 sparing no expense now to try and crush them before they can get that close to closing things out. Skadoodle and Sean Garris now going for the double op buy up here, and Shroud as well here. Now going to have a Galil to work with for himself. Freakazoid and nothing, armed with the rifles, of course, and now beyond this, we'll see how exactly Liquid try to play this out. They're going to keep it nice and safe for the time being. Not really going to push the envelope as far as getting onto one of these sites. They're just making map control early on in this round is concerned here. Nothing will smoke off middle there just to keep things a little bit safe. But beyond that, they're just going to take their time, maybe look for a pick or two here early on in case Cloud9 get aggressive. And beyond that, they'll probably decide on the strategy a little bit after that. But right now, sort of favoring either a mid to B split or working their way over on a cat from there. If the lurker, that's going to be Fugly, ends up not really doing so well for himself, but we'll see.
Look at this read from Cloud9. 4 members over towards the A site. This is so much faith in Sean with the AWP inside that B bomb site. You can see Freakazoid playing his favorite spot behind this first box in CT spawn. But it doesn't even matter because the read is perfect. Team Liquid going over towards this A bomb site. There's only going to be one lurker in lower B, and here it comes, the execution. They jump down. Skidoodle's got to do good with this op. He gets that first kill. He drops down through the smoke. That's a Liege. Now he turns away from a flashbang, comes back and just watches the corner, gets a second one onto Nitro. He's holding everything off at the moment, single-handedly. Adren finally chimes in. That forces Skidoodle to back up just a little bit, but Freakazoid allows him to return his attention to this A bomb site, and still, Team Liquid cannot make any progress. They have to have this round. They cannot let Cloud9 get up towards 15 so early on in the second half, and Freakazoid just biding his time until that kill comes in. He peeks. What a hold from Cloud9 on that A bomb site.
Skadoodle, I think, in my opinion, probably one of the biggest players coming out of that run, of course. I mean, he got his car spot that he's so good at holding and that we've seen him hold so many times in the past, and there was just no punishment at all coming out from Liquid to try and get him off of there. So he was freely allowed to take all the shots he wanted to, and beyond that, of course, the rifle hold comes out from Freakazoid and the rest of them too, just to clean things up, and that gives them their 15th point. Liquid, they've got a little bit left to buy out here, but overall not going to be too confident. Kind of okay on the utility aspects, but look at Freakazoid now, just pushes right up, takes one shot from the scout, so he's got to be a little bit careful with this, but he's going to go out for blood, and Shroud picks up the first one, finds a second, but Liege, Fugly, and Adren find 3 more response kills to come back out from Liquid now, so they're going to be able to trade those ones out. Freak and Sean are going to be the final 2 left alive here. And again, keep in mind, Freak has been moved forward here. They have a pretty good idea of where he might be camping, but at the same time, that bomb on the ground, so the movement here coming out from Liquid is going to be very, very slow, and Freak could take out a couple more players. Looking for the shot, can't connect it just yet, so they'll pick up that bomb, but at the same time, their movement path is going to be pretty limited, so Sean Garris will actually get a pretty good setup now as the players from Liquid try to push themselves in. We take a look, no flash or anything, but Hiko gets the running headshot anyway, takes down Sean Garris, and now this round will most definitely be going into the hands of Liquid. They've got this one in the bag, and as for Freakazoid, it's going to be all about survival at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he's just really nothing they can do, so Liquid is just going to stave off death just one more round. Either way, Freakazoid feeling a little bit lonely. He's got full utility, and any damage they can do, you look at this Liquid economy right now, no one's above $1,000 whatsoever, so any kill that Freakazoid gets here is actually massive. Just so many rounds for Cloud9 to grind it out economically, and I mean, this is a great match that they're putting together right now, just beating up on Liquid, who's kind of this upstart at the moment. So Cloud9 letting them know they're not quite there yet. They got to keep working, and Freak might be able to get 1 or 2 more kills. They jump out. He does spray the first one down. He gets the second one as well. That's beautiful stuff. So Liquid now just so detrimental moving forward.
And Liquid, you can see them jumping around there. They're thinking they're safe in that area, but Freak's just waiting right for him. So those are 2 kills that, to be honest, Liquid sort of handed over on a silver platter there to Freakazoid, as they were not expecting him to be in that area at all. Nonetheless, though, as we take a look from Cloud9, unfortunately, their money not going to be in too good of a position after just picking up 1 round and immediately trading it back out. So they will have to go for a full save for the most part. Freak still having that rifle and a full utility kit. He's actually going to have a decent amount to work with. But the same story is said for Liquid, of course, considering they're winning the round and they're on T side, so the economy is a lot less punishing, and they can go right back for the most part into their full buyout here as well.
slowly working their way towards these mid-double doors. Lige is at Xbox, and look at this stack on Catwalk. Skadoodle and Shroud just waiting for any kind of a presence, and the danger is Liquid's so spread out, this stack could actually do some real damage, but Shroud gets eliminated. That nade weakened up Skadoodle, and he gets dropped by Nitro as well. Good double frag for him. And now Liquid can slow everything down, recondense, group up together, and hit a bomb site. But initial 2 kills are wonderfully done by Liquid.
And a little bit of an upshot there is going to connect onto nothing. I believe it goes through the door, so the damage is going to be lessened in a very, very big way. Apologies. He only gets dropped down to 66 HP, but Sean as well. The floodgates are going to open up back over here on the B site, and that rotation really leaving Freakazoid out of the fight as far as this is concerned. He's trying to open up a pretty mean flank, but as he moves forward here, Adren might just catch him with the op, and especially now with Hiko picking up that kill over on nothing. Does not leave a lot of room left for him to work with here. Just going to smoke that off, and again, makes the choice to save, considering, again, 1-on-5, not really a whole lot he can do to win this one out, but he's still going to keep himself rolling here, picks up 1 kill over onto Elise. They now know where he is, so things are going to get a little bit intense. Fugly pushing in from Cat 2 as Hiko pushes in from lower. It's a little bit 1-on-1, but Hiko thankfully can hold his own, and he picks on Freakazoid there, is able to take him down, and obviously Liquid are once again going to win the round.
And this is around like Cloud9. I mean, they've got decent money. They can have a pretty solid buy into this round, and they are going to purchase up. So everyone gets those M4s. They don't have the money for the native EP, unfortunately. It would have been a naked op on Skadoodle with no armor whatsoever. So he goes for the M4 with armor, and he's the only defuse kit as well, but still a little bit light on utility. Either way, this is going to be a scary round for Liquid. They've got to keep up this winning streak, and there's a lot of faith being put into Sean Gares right now in this B bomb site. He's pretty much been manning this B site down alone with nothing committed towards the mid site. Just not even wary whatsoever that Liquid might just hit this right off the bat at a certain point. So Cloud9 spread out across the map so far, and Liquid, they're not being very aggressive in these early portions of the round. They're content to play behind these smokes and the choke points. They're content to play far back and just go from, 30 seconds into the round.
Cloud9, though, potentially with a mean setup if we see Liquid still try to push through these long doors here. Freakazoid just outside of Big Blue, and Shroud wrapped around the corner as well. They're going to wait, and this could be a very big trap, especially if they don't pre-flash this one. And this could be absolutely insane. Nothing else moving into potentially a position to counter this one out too, but I think his attention is drawn a little bit more towards Cat, and that maybe where they try to make the noise first is they are very, very slowly still moving into that position here. And Cloud9 do have a good setup for this one. Should be able to stop a lot of it so long as they don't meet too much aggression here, but as they work out, that flash does draw the attention, and Freakazoid is completely blinded, so all the pressure goes on to Shroud, but they're very, very slow moving out of the stores. The flash isn't going to do work, but immediately they find Freakazoid. Now Shroud tries to hold his own, but he gets dropped by Nitro, and now they're going to start to move in here. They know where that bomb is, but as well, Cat has made literally no progress at this point, so nothing can't find the spray for some reason. He's going to get dropped by Adren. Fugly moves back a little bit since they do get partial control, but keep flying. Skadoodle is still up and well, finding some nice damage over here on a lot of the players from Liquid, almost taking down 2 of them. He's trying to hold him, they can't take him out. Finally, he runs out of ammo, so Hiko's going to be able to finish it, and Fugly as well. Moving in from Cat, he's going to be able to finish off Sean Gares before he can do the damage to finish off the round.
Yeah, that trade over towards Long was the key. That was the same setup that Liquid had in the first half that completely shut down a Cloud9 attack out towards Long A, but Liquid neutralizes it with much less losses taken, and while they weren't expecting 4 members to be over towards that A bomb site with 2 in the site, 2 towards Long, they still come out on top, so it's going to be another save from Cloud9 now. Liquid making a bit of a bid. They started both of these halves off very, very slow, losing 4 straight this time, but since then, they really stabilized. 15-10 now. Liquid's got to keep this work up, and they hear the nade hit a member over at Long. Hiko knows they're pushing. He grabs Freakazoid. That's going to stall things out just a little bit, even though Skadoodle's got a nice position behind this double doors. He gets mollied off and pushed back, so into the mid-round we go with all the aggression neutralized.
And again, this is just Liquid, as you mentioned before in that previous round. They sit back, they play cautiously, even when we look at Cloud9 essentially being on a full eco at this point. Not a whole lot of extra aggression coming out from Liquid as they just take it nice and easy. Cloud9, they've got kind of a setup working out of here of Tunnel, so if they do decide to push this, we might see something coming out from this one, but as far as at least the opener is concerned, not expecting too much as you look at this from Cloud9. They don't have any armor, really nothing to work with. Nothing with the Zeus, so he may get lucky there.
This is beautiful stuff. He's going to Batman right down, but they're so far away. He just gets his head ripped off. So creative from nothing, working with that Zeus, but he gets dropped.
And that's not going to pick up anything as that call, I believe the call there in terms of how far they were actually into the tunnel comes out way off. So that's going to be basically nothing, giving his own life away. And for Scott and Shroud, there's nothing else for these two to pick up. So they're just going to sit back, take their time, hope they get lucky with an exit, and that'll be now another point going into the hands of Liquid as they're going to hold on for some time. They do double team it though and are able to take down a lead, but as Shroud pops out, he meets his fate as Fugly is not only going to take down Shroud, but Skadoodle as well. So there's the cleanup from Liquid there. And again, another pretty clean one from them, so their money is also going to get a nice little bonus. And for Cloud9, we'll see. Their money's in a pretty good spot, so they shouldn't have any trouble going into the buy. Don't think they can grab an op, unfortunately, and if they do, it's going to be a little bit limited as far as what he can get with it. I think they're trying to make that decision right now, but as far as the buy up here, it looks like he is going to go for it, and no armor. Actually chooses the utility over the armor.
Yeah, I would have been surprised to see Skadoodle not pick up that AWP in this round. Such a force with it. Either way, very, very static setup, default setup that we normally see out of Cloud9. 2 players over towards the B bomb site, 3 towards A. No one really guarding mid until it's Freakazoid. He comes back, and as we love seeing Cloud9 do, they just bring Freakazoid back to just camp the CT spawn a little bit, watch for this kind of mid aggression. This is still more presence in mid than even Liquid put really in the first half. So Liquid is very much grouped up on their terror side in these B halls over towards Xbox. It's just Hiko all the way back in T spawn, just watching for any pushes. I mean, he's the player. He's got to come in late because he's always the one that Liquid wants alive to win out some of these clutch rounds. But they're going to group up, and it looks like they're just going to try and body slam their way into this B bomb site with all 5 members. No finesse to it. They're just going to try and overrun this defense.
What I find interesting about this, too, is they threw a couple nades over to mid to draw some attention there, so that's going to bring the attention of Freakazoid, but he's learned now that he doesn't think it's there. Nitro just finds one tap headshot, essentially, moving his way in here, but Sean Garris holds, only finds one, though. A great response from Nitro. He's able to take him out, and Skadoodle looking for a couple lucky shots through the doorway, but that's going to get smoked off. They won't be able to find anything, and yeah, they're going to have to go for a save here at this point. Maybe find an exit or two, but Liquid with a perfect execution on the B site, and those smokes towards mid. I thought it was going to work against them, but it actually works great because Freakazoid ends up rotating back over to the A site before the execution even comes off there, so they get a perfect take here. Unfortunately, Cloud9 Shongaris, nothing, they can't do anything to stop it, and with that said, that's going to be another one for Liquid going onto the board.
Yeah, I mean, 2 sick entries from Nitro. That's kind of what we know him for, is being that just stellar entry fragger. And Freakazoid, he's camping out, trying to get some exit kills, but Elige catches him right behind these double doors with a nice headshot. He falls. And all of a sudden, even with all this bonus money that Cloud9 is getting, I mean, they're not able to win any of these rounds. They're not even really able to do a lot of damage so far. So Skadoodle does get a headshot. That's an op that he has to save. He should even be peeking again, and he's not. So he's going to get away with that AWP moving forward. And, I mean, this is in Skadoodle's hands. If they want, they could actually drop an M4 from Skadoodle over to a teammate, and they're going to buy up behind this. So Skadoodle essentially has the same buy that he had last round, while the rest of his teammates have M4 and armor. So another solid buy out of Cloud9, but Team Liquid slowly closing the gap in this scoreline.
Getting closer and closer indeed to bringing it back. The money situation for them, with the exceptions of Fugly and Nitro, still sits pretty strong as far as their next round potential buy-ups come in here too from Cloud9. If they're going to be able to maybe sneak through, but of course that doesn't actually matter because Cloud9 pick up this round and well, the game's over. So now we'll see Adren pushing forward here again, going back to middle control, a little bit more forward pressing than in some of these previous rounds, of course, but again, not going to move beyond middle for the time being, just taking up that fairly standard position. Freakazoid's going to be waiting outside in case it does push through that point, but very, very just kind of tucked into this corner in case the flashes come out and it's a quick take, which from Liquid we've been seeing a whole lot of that, so wouldn't be surprising at all for Freakazoid specifically. We did see that happening, but as far as Team Liquid is concerned, again, a little bit different this time around. They move themselves over to Cat. They'll have one player keeping a presence back over here outside of the long doors, but there won't actually be any push. He's just going to move back over towards middle now, regroup with the rest of his teammates, and even Liquid here, still not necessarily committed to moving through here just as yet, so they're going to use this molly to get themselves through the mid doors. Freakazoid and nothing have a good lineup, but I think we can see his arm right there, and Alicia's going to pick up the opening kill. Now they move in. Freakazoid's also going to fall, so it's another one. They move in through middle. It's clean through there. No trades as of yet. All the defense falls into the hands of Sean Garris, but he gets perfectly flashed out there, I believe, by Elysian. He's also going to be able to pick up the kill, so again, no defense is being had here by Cloud9 at all. They can't maintain themselves in these positions, and Liquid just picking up so many free kills here, so that's another round where Cloud9, they can't do anything in terms of a retake, and now they're going to have to hand over a 13th point to these players from Team Liquid.
Yeah, and this is just the strength of Team Liquid shining right now, is these entry frags. As soon as they get that first one, it just seems to snowball into a take out of the site. Once that first kill comes out for Liquid, it all just collapses behind it. And just, I mean, that front line, Nitro, Fugly, Elige, they just get so aggressive. Just explode once the kills start coming in, and they get into that B bomb site for free. And Cloud9, I mean, they're going to save here. There's no chance for them to buy. They're going to buy up some armor, maybe some upgraded pistols, try and see some damage, but it doesn't matter because Liquid's economy is so huge from winning 6 rounds in a row. So Cloud9's just got to save for the last round, and Liquid has made a miracle comeback. And, you know, we talked about before this even started that Cloud9 CT half was their weaker one, and despite a couple of adjustments we've seen, it's turning out that way still at the same time. Elige with the first 2 kills in this round. Nitro adds one in. Just one more player, nothing, has literally 1 HP, and he's just going to fall eventually. It's a matter of time. And there it is, 15-14, going into the 30th round.
And they're not even going to make their way halfway across the map that time, so that one's a tossed round for Cloud9. You already mentioned, though, the economy wasn't really going to be a big factor, so that was all or nothing from Cloud9 in that case anyway, so not too surprising. But thankfully that save, and because they were sort of sitting on the edge of being able to force it or not, so they're going to be able to go for pretty much the full buy. The double op buy-up comes in, too, and it's pretty confident when you look at the fact that they've been able to get these ops along with a pretty good amount of utility. However, Hiko finds the opening kill through the door, takes down Sean Garrison. Nothing's health also gets extremely crippled because of a nade that I believe that rolls in. He's dropped down to 22 HP, and already just an amazing start from Liquid. And besides that kill, they don't even know how well they've set themselves up yet, because now nothing's going to be alone on this B site. If they still decide to push for that, they absolutely have to move someone else from Cloud9 over here. There's no way nothing's going to be able to hold this with just 22 HP and himself to keep this site from being taken by Liquid.
Well, the only saving grace they have is nothing is on this B platform behind the box. That's a headshot angle, so no matter what his health is, it's going to have to be a headshot to kill him. And that's the one saving grace with that AWP that he has. Either way, complete mid-control for Team Liquid. They have basically this entire map. This defense is forced to play so passive, and both ops leaning over towards this B bomb site. Nothing has it on the platform. Skidoodle has it in CT spawn watching mid. Easy weapons to smoke off, and oh, there goes nothing. No, Fugly just drops him right there, so all of a sudden the take is on. You can see Fugly's taking this B bomb site. Skidoodle sees him cross, but he doesn't know how committed they are. Nitro just walks out mid, grabs that kill. All of a sudden, overtime is looking very likely for Team Liquid. They brought it back.
Freakazoid does pick up one kill, so it's not over just yet. Shroud pushing through two, doesn't even realize right behind him, Adren, he doesn't see him, he doesn't even check the doors! And now the clear has come out, Adren picks up the first kill, moves out, finds a second on the Shroud, and a huge mistake by Shroud. Calls look at the round, granted it was pretty much over at that point anyway, but still, Liquid, they're gonna pick up the 15th point, and we go into OT.
That comeback is so sick from Liquid. What a gutsy comeback to have after getting just demolished for 8 rounds in the first half. They buy themselves just enough room to work with moving forward into the second. So 15-15 now in Cloud9. They get to 15 rounds so close in that first half. And it is their weaker side, but you've got to say Cloud9 just kind of choked a little bit there to close that one out.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you. A stellar T side, and then everything, basically the ball just gets completely dropped on the second half. Granted, the same thing sort of happens for Liquid, of course. They have the same problems back over onto their CT side, but at least starting off here in overtime, they're going to be able to start things off on the better side. And as for Cloud9, they're going to have to try to figure out what exactly has been going wrong, as they'll start off directly over here on the side that, well, to be honest, didn't really go so well for them.
Yeah, and on the other hand, this is the side that Liquid had so much momentum. Either way, now Cloud9 has all the money they need. Skidoodle has that off. He gets a nice headshot onto Elige, trying to execute a very fast mid to B split, but already the rotation is on. Nitro gets the first kill out of B. It gets traded immediately by Freakazoid. 2 members trying to push into this B bomb, so they're going to have Sean to contest with. He's over in the closet. One comes streaming in. Shroud grabs one, but all the rest of the kills go in the way of Liquid, so it's a 2-on-2. Bomb has yet to cross into the site, which is going to allow the rotations to get just a little bit closer.
Unfortunately, though, Shroud's got a smoke to work with, so he's not really going to be able to see through that. Adren, though, actually not moving in just as of yet, and the flash comes out too, so that's going to hold the plan off for a little bit longer. Fugly trying to respond to Shroud, but Skidoodle pops right in. Hello, takes down Fugly, and now it's just Adren trying to hold, waiting for that pop to come out from Skidoodle, but this is going to be such a hard clutch to work with here. He's only got 12 HP. He's got to be absolutely flawless. And they're trying to time this, but Skidoodle misses his opening shot. A little bit of damage get returns back over onto him, but not too much because of that door. Thankfully, it's an Iron Maiden, so nothing else is really going to be able to make it through that. Adren now given the opportunity to get the plant, and he's going to go for it here, but that should reveal his position pretty well, and he's not going to move from it either. Waiting to see that tunnel, but as we can see, most of the players coming in through a window in just a moment, but not really so aggressively here. The smoke will come out from Skidoodle. This might force a relocation on Adren, but as he rolls right in, he gets taken down by Adren, and now Adren's the one more shot away from clutching this out. Needs to find Shroud, but Shroud, thankfully, is going to be able to save it. And that will be Cloud9, of course, with the kit picking up the 16th point.
Such a smart play from Shroud. He has his presence known in those B tunnels. Adren knew he was there, but he rotates back to group up with Skidoodle and take that 2-on-1 together. But either way, you could see Adren, once he gets the bomb planted, he's looking back towards those tunnels, waiting for Shroud to peek. But, I mean, if Adren had known that Shroud wasn't there anymore, he would have gotten into a different position. He would have played that completely differently. But because of the repositioning that Adren didn't know about, it just puts him at a massive disadvantage as Shroud comes through the doors after Skidoodle gets taken out. So, good 2-on-1 win to have. 16-15 now for Cloud9.
And Cloud9 are now going to go back to that little bit of aggression as they were working with before. Here we can see Shroud along with Nothing taking up a semi-aggressive angle to start things up. Shroud, of course, definitely sitting back over in pit. More pushed up player, and Nothing moves back just in case there's some cat action that goes on. But at least for now, it looks like they're going to try to throw it at least a couple nades back over here out long to try to divert some of the attention, but Liquid, of course, go back to that very, very slow, methodical play that we were seeing a lot of the rounds that were happening in regulation time here in hopes of catching a couple of mistakes earlier on from Cloud9.
Back to a default defense, and you can see Cloud9 really outside of the A bomb site between Nothing and Freakazoid, there's really no one set up to kind of set up a crossfire. To have, I mean, look at Cloud9's defense. They know that Team Liquid is going to be hitting this A bomb site. This is going to be a delayed long take from Liquid, but 4 members already leaning towards the A site, so Cloud9 has a good read on what Liquid wants to do. It's all going to come down to these frags. Fugly and Elige both taking early damage. This is a smoke to fake the mid-B split, but Sean is going to sniff that out immediately because he's jumped up on top of the boxes.
And the smokes draw the attention a little bit here, at least to Sean Garris, as we already said before, but nothing else has come from this, and thankfully due to that box position, he's going to be able to see right over this, so he knows nothing's coming in from this angle. The first test here is going to be on Shroud. He gets taken down by Nitro, though. Some more support comes in from Nothing, but he as well only picks up 1 kill, so it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Liquid. Now Lee's pushing up through Delonga. Dren also picks 1 up with the op shot there, and Freakazoid's going to fall. No holds at all, only 1 kill found, and Skadoodle, he's going to miss probably what would have been his only opportunity to pick up a kill there, the bomb carrier Hiko, and with only 8 seconds left, that plant comes out. Skadoodle, of course, not really a whole lot he can do, so we just got to hide and try to save that out for the next round.
Yeah, what a take onto that ace side from Team Liquid. Delayed long take, and once again, all the entries going in the favor of Liquid. They trade those kills so efficiently and just march up into that A bomb site. 1-1 now in overtime for both of these teams. The second one is going to give anyone a massive advantage. It's been the CT sides that are weaker, though. So any CT team that can get 2 rounds out of the 3 in overtime is going to have a massive advantage.
Unfortunately, though, for Cloud9, when you look at the money that they still have, it's going to be a little bit dodgy on some of these players. Sean Gary specifically so that he could get a little bit more utility. Actually doesn't go for a rifle buy-up at all. Not that he could really afford one, to be honest, but even so, we go right back to that 15th round at the beginning here now, where freaking Nothing already getting lit so heavily, and another nade connects over on the Freak. He's down at 18 HP, and I think he might just throw his life away at this point. Tries to go, blindly peeks, almost finds Fugly, but he hugs that Jesus pull, keeps himself alive because of that. Freakazoid's going to give up. He falls back. This does seem to have diverted some of the attention from Liquid, though, and I think that they're going to be a little bit more scared to push out onto that B site than they were initially, because they don't know that all those grenades have connected yet, and especially with no damage being returned back over onto Freak, except for, you know, maybe about 10-15 there, that brings him down to 2 HP. They don't really have a whole lot of confidence to be able to push through that yet, so they'll move back and again, pushing themselves over on a Cat now with the bomb at this point.
Yeah, but look at this push. They've got 12 and 2 HP, and Fugly's waiting out towards T-spawn. He eliminates the first one. Freak can't even try and cross. But what a ballsy play to push into these upper B tunnels. They've kind of cleared it out just a little bit, despite losing one. And now Freakazoid's got himself in a really, really cheeky position. Are they going to check for it? And Fugly looking the same way as Tunnels. That's 2 kills for him. That makes the mid-B split proceed. Sean jumps down. He gets dropped. He got 1 kill with the Max 7, but this is going to be a second round for Liquid, and Dren puts the exclamation part. Headshot onto Shroud with the AWP. It's just Skadoodle left, but he's got nothing to do. 1-on-4 rotating from long A. He's on Catwalk, but this is going to be a lost round for Cloud9. Liquid looking good so far.
Finds the 1 shot there, and again, overall, not a whole lot that's going to really matter. So, of course, going into that second half, Cloud9 not able to pick up the second round, sort of as we expected here with the 2-run ratio coming out. That actually aligns perfectly when you look back at the round scores. We saw sort of a 2-to-1 split on the rounds going into the first half, and a 2-to-1 round split going into the second half. So that trend will stay, and it'll pretty much be the T sides that remain strong and the CT sides that remain weak here. But the big key is going to be one of these CT sides needs to come out strong here in one of these halves, otherwise we'll be trading these blows forever and ever and ever.
Well, here's the thing. You got to think that Liquid's just had an entire regulation half, 15 rounds on T side, where they made this massive comeback. It was like 15-8 or something, or 15-9 at some point, and they ran off 6 straight. Now they just went 2-1 in overtime. All the momentum is their favor going into the CT side. So they actually have, in my opinion, a pretty huge advantage going into the second half of overtime, and they're looking good to take this match completely from Cloud9. And they're just, I mean, this is something, you can't even say that Liquid's sealing this away, because this was Cloud9's to lose, and they're dropping the ball right now.
Absolutely. So, just waiting here now for Cloud9. Again, well, I'm not sure if it's Cloud9 or not, but we're waiting for somebody to ready up here. I'm assuming it's Cloud9 because they're sitting behind at this point now, so we'll wait for them to figure out what they're going to do strategically at this point.
Yeah, this is where you push the limits of that like quote-unquote halftime, and you take a little bit of a timeout to gather yourself, talk about what you want to do. You're also, I mean, think about it, it's been 18 rounds since either of these teams have played these sides on this map, so they've got to think all the way back. You know James, the coach of Liquid, you know Dren, the in-game leader of Liquid, they're thinking back, Sean's thinking back, trying to figure out what's the best way to attack this attack this overtime half on these sides. And if it's anything like regulation, when Cloud9 was on that 8-0 win streak to start the first half, they were being very fast, very aggressive out mid, very aggressive towards the B bomb site. It's when they started slowing things down, when Team Liquid forced them to respect the defense, that they really started losing some rounds.
And this is going to be Liquid taking the big risk here in the first buyout. They go for the double op pickup with Adren and Nitro going for those. Whenever they did it in regulation, to be honest, this didn't really work out so well for them. So this is going to be a pretty big risk being taken by these players. Cloud9 with a much more default buy here. Skadoodle, of course, with the op, but everybody else just goes for AKs. Nothing out of the ordinary as far as they are concerned. But as for Liquid, a very, very big risk being taken. And if Cloud9 comes out on top, this is really going to stunt the economy for Liquid coming out for the rest of this half.
Yeah, this is, you have it exactly right. Double op in the initial round. That's huge, but Adren, he finds a pick onto Freakazoid, gives him a 5-on-4 advantage. Huge kill coming out. And Cloud9, they haven't spread out across the map so much. They started condensing over towards the B bomb site, so with zero map control, all they can really do is sit huddled up in these B tunnels and eventually hit this B bomb site. They've got to be so cautious if they rotate away from it. And there's another hop here, up here in the hands of Nitro, just waiting for him.
The smoke setup here is so perfect, too. Nitro's going to have open season as far as he's concerned. Fugly even catches one through the tunnel, so now he's going to go crazy. That Molly, though, forces Nitro to fall back a little bit. He's going to be more overexposed, and they actually funnel up, but Fugly's holding strong. He finds his second one. Nitro misses his shot, and Skadoodle and Shroud are now going to take down the defense, but as we can see, that rotations are coming in very, very quickly from Adren and Elige, and also they're going to have Hiko in a flank position coming out from the tunnels in a second, but still, Cloud9, they've got a little bit of utility to work with. The Molly comes out their window, so that's going to prevent an immediate retake from Elige, but still, they won't push for this just yet. The big stir, of course, is Skadoodle, now pushed into their tunnels, going to try to catch Hiko off guard here before he even gets a chance to strike, but that is going to put a lot of pressure back over onto Shroud to defend the other two angles, and Skadoodle even getting called a little bit back to that as he has to move outside of the tunnel angle. Watch out, but we see them both picking up kills here in Elige. It's all on him. He moves in with just 17 HP, and Skadoodle now is to play this for time as Elige is back into this site. Elige pushes in. Skadoodle smart about this, though. He's falling back outside of it, and Elige knows he can't pick it up, so he's going to run. He's going to save. He finds it up at the very least, but it looks like Cloud9 are just barely going to escape this round by the skin of their teeth, and they keep it tied now at 17 points.
It all came down to that flank from Hiko. Could he beat Skadoodle? The one time, the two members who at one point were pretty much a package deal in the offseason. Whichever team they were going to go to was going to get both of them. That eventually broke up, as we all know, but, they were the ones going head-to-head in those B tunnels. Skadoodle with the op has a fantastic peek. He spots Hiko coming. Here's a footstep. Just so swift on the op. Hiko can't beat it, despite how clutch he is as a player. Skadoodle tops him there. 17-17 now.
And this is going to be, of course, now the big test from Liquid, considering they pretty much destroyed their economy off of that. They saved one of the ops at the very least, so they won't have to rebuy that big gun, but now everybody else is going to buy out for the most part here. The only player that'll have even a semblance of money left is going to be Adren because he gets tossed that gun, but nothing at Elige. They'll trade a couple blows here at the beginning. Freakazoid pushes forward, just barely survives his own encounter there as he takes down Elige and makes it out of with just 7 HP left alive. That will give his team the man advantage, but again, Liquid very, very quick on rotating in, and they actually, now they've got it confirmed that the bomb is moving in, and they will line themselves up for a retake very fast. Fugly overexposes himself there as he moves out the smoke. No utility to support that, so nothing's going to take him out for free. He finds a second one onto Adren, and just like that, there's nothing left for Liquid to do. Nitro's got to make a run for it, and this 1-on-4, that's going to be the 18th point now for Cloud9. If they can clutch it 3-0, then that's going to be the end of it, and they'll win 19-17 at the very end of this first overtime.
Yeah, now Liquid, once again, their backs are against the wall. Basically how it's been that entire second half and most of the match. That double op setup in the first round really, really hurt them. You look at this economy, Hiko's got 400, Nitro's got 300, Fugly's got 400 as well. This is going to be a very, very weak buy. Nitro absolutely has to keep this M4 alive into the next round, but he's getting hunted. He's standing inside of smoke, and they can't see him for now, but, Cloud9's just going to push right through this, see if they can find him. He's only got 8 HP, and he gets hit. Shroud drops him inside the smoke, so, it's going to be upgraded pistols, essentially, for Team Liquid. They could have a scout. Adren can buy, drop an M4 or buy up a Famas, but he's the one who with the scout. All 5.7s, a Deagle onto Elige. Very scary situation for Liquid, who puts up such a huge fight in the second half.
So this is going to be it more than likely here, guys. Cloud9 have a huge advantage here. Liquid has to pull out an absolute miracle in order to clutch this round, and that's not the best way to start it off, unfortunately. Skadoodle finds the shot through the mid doors. They try to get aggressive. Nitro will look for the response there through Suicide, but Can't catch anything. He's already happy with that kill, and he's not going to overexpose himself once again. The rest of the team already out along. They've got no idea it's coming here. They can see the nades moving in, but it's only Hiko to defend it here, and he's only got a 5-7 to work with, so there's nothing he can do. He's completely flashed. He's forced to fall back. They still got to deal with Skadoodle back over through mid, so they can't even safely pull back to that angle. But could have been completely denied any control here of the A side and any angle for a retake, so they've got to work from square one, and they have absolutely no guns. They've got very little utility to work this for. It's just not looking so good. Cloud9, they were given long for free, and then they just worked out right over there into a site take here. There's Skadoodle. He finds another kill over onto Elige. The smoke comes out from Hiko to give him a little bit of room to work with, but so far those pushes making nothing else happen. Shroud and Skadoodle, they shut it down, and Shroud with the final kill. That's going to close it out, guys. Cloud9, after a very large struggle in the second half and the first half of overtime, will end up coming out at the end of it. 19-17 will be our final score.
Yeah, what a start to the evening, and that match doesn't let us down whatsoever. We knew that was going to be sick. Is just, you know, the comeback that Liquid has, that was great to see them get punched right in the mouth early on, and I thought they were just going to drop it. And that would have been, you know, an okay loss for a team like Liquid to take, because they've been riding so high recently in North America to just kind of keep them level. But that response they had was wonderful. So nicely done from Liquid, but even better is Cloud9 to restabilize in overtime and grab that victory.
All right, well, I hate to interrupt, but it looks like we are going live immediately into our next match here, guys. So let's jump directly into it here. It's Winter Fox versus Method on Cash. And again, the big test here